Welcome to Real Food, Real Medicine, where Chef Dr. Margie empowers you to better health through real food, to your health and wealth. Hello friends, today we're making Chef Dr. Margie's coconut key lime squares. And as usual, the recipe with nutrition info is at the end of the video if you'd like to skip ahead. First, we're going to make the crust, so let's go ahead and get started. We're adding a tablespoon of key lime juice. And we'll be adding our coconut oil. And coconut oil a lot of times at room temperature is solid, so you might need to melt it down in your microwave for a bit. And sugar. And we're first going to mix these ingredients together, and then we'll add the coconut and the rolled oats. Those are gluten-free, quick cooking oats. Because in this recipe, the crust is made simultaneously with the filling. We don't bake the crust ahead of time, so that's why we use the quick cooking oats. Okay, so I've got this mixed together, the sugar, oil, and the lime juice, and then we'll go ahead and add the coconut and mix that in. And then we'll add the rolled oats. These are gluten-free, but be sure when you make your purchase that it says gluten-free on the label. Sometimes gluten-free products, well, with the gluten-free products anyway, they are made specifically so that no other ingredients touch the product, especially for those who have a severe allergy to gluten. We want to be sure to get the right ingredient. But for most people, they just have a gluten intolerance, and so it's not as big a deal. But still, it's best to always check the labels on packages. And you do want to be sure that this is thoroughly mixed together so that it forms a little bit better crust for you. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put this in the pan and just flatten it out in the pan. When you're flattening it out, you don't need to worry about going up the sides of the pan or anything. This is just mostly a covering for the bottom of your squares that you're making. Be sure to tamp it down nice and firmly so that it makes a nice base for your filling. And try to be sure you do have it as evenly spread out as possible. Okay, we'll set that aside and then get our ingredients together for the filling. And in the meantime, I'll set the oven temperature. And now we're going to put our filling together. So we've got the cream cheese. We'll go ahead and add the sour cream. We'll add the sugar, the key lime juice, and some eggs. And we'll mix those all together, and that will be our filling. And now let's go ahead and take our filling and put it in the pan. And then we'll want to be sure to spread it out evenly. When I make my filling, I usually take my cold ingredients that were in the fridge and let them sit out to room temperature for about an hour or so. I just think that makes it easier when you go to mixing and pouring and that kind of thing to have ingredients that are more at room temperature than cold. But that's just my own preference. All right, and then we just smooth out the filling to try to just make an even coating all the way across. Looks pretty good. Okay, and then I like to put a little topping on top of this before we stick it in the oven. I take a 1/4 cup of coconut and just sprinkle it across. Try to get it evenly if you can. Sometimes a little difficult, but because it could stick together, but anyway, just trying to get as much across as you can. And then I take a tablespoon of turbinado sugar. It just is a sugar that has more crystallized and gives it a little bit different taste, and sprinkle a tablespoon of that across as well. Okay, now we're going to put this in the oven for about 50 minutes to an hour, and after that we'll take it out and let it cool. All right, so we'll see you back in an hour. So here's our product right out of the oven, and we're going to let it sit here and cool for a little bit. We'll cover it and put it in the fridge for about 4 hours so that it sets, and then after that we'll go ahead and cut it up into our little squares. So we'll see you again in 4 hours. Here you have Chef Dr. Margie's gluten-free coconut key lime squares. And the recipe with nutrition info is at the end of the video, and links to Pampered Chef products used in this recipe are in the description. To your health and wealth. Be sure to check all my links below to contact me, subscribe, shop, and join my team. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. From my kitchen and wine cooler to yours, I wish you a bon appetit. To your health and wealth.